And then Jordan gets up, buys everybody drinks, high fives, and says, "This kid's gonna do shit that you've never seen before in this game."
Wow.
We're rolling, Lonn.
And then we went and played the back nine.
Really?
Yeah, I think I shot a 40 on the back nine that day.
That's good.
I love golfers. Well,
Okay,
okay,
quiet on
the
the
chatter,
set.
keep us
Quiet
silent.
on the set.
Right on set.
The general question is, did you feel like you were at a reunion today?
Oh, definitely. It was wonderful. Guys I haven't seen in years. There was a lot of love
There's a lot of love here.
in the wrecking crew. I think respect for instrumentalists that I haven't seen before. I've played in orchestras and big bands. This group will never be found again, and it was fantastic. Every day was a day of fun. Sometimes we were tired of re-recording and doing things that were not needed, we thought. But we really, when it was time to work, we were ready to work. And you don't see that around as much. And Glenn Campbell, you just spoke to, when he first came to town, he just immediately fell in love with him. And he's a much better guitarist than he would want the world to think. I stupidly one day I said, Glenn's not around as much. He said, well, he's traveling on the road. I said, how could, he's the busiest guitarist in the studio. Why is he not here? You know, what's so much better on the road? That shows you I haven't. I had no idea what he was going to do, and he's great. He's
Did you
great.
feel like he left the flock?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Later I found out that it was with a good reason. It wasn't just I'm tired of this. I think he mentioned that earlier, that he really missed it. There were things he could do no one else could do. And he picked it up in a very, very short time. And actually, all of the guys in the group had that. I mean, you can't replace Tommy Tedesco. Thank God for the Tedescos. I asked his son today, I said, how many times did your father slap you on the chest and say, what are you doing? How could you make a mistake like that? He was, and we were really, really, really good friends. And remember, we started out Monday morning and ended up sometime Sunday night, and we were together most of the time. And occasionally you sneak off and do another session. If we had a film call, that was the whole day, but at night we're back there again, and sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day.
When you see people from the Wrecking Crew, I know it's a little different for you. You think of somebody, you go, my God, I played on a Phil Spector session with that guy. You played on dates with, Lou Rawls. A lot of these people aren't physically here, plus you have been in the world of business and religion yourself, so it's a little different spiritual thing for you, I know, than a lot of people, because you acknowledge the contributions of the people that aren't physically here, and I mean, I've even seen you conduct services and all that, but the music carries on and the spirit carries on. So even though some of these people that you were friends with socially, and some are sick like Earl Palmer, it must hit you that there's at least acknowledgement and television and documentation happening in this finally.
Yeah, there's no question. And I still travel a bit, not musically, but I meet people, you sit down, talk. The next day I get a call, I Googled you. You were in the Wrecking Crew. And really, when I was in the Wrecking Crew, I didn't realize I realized how great the musicians were, there's no question. You couldn't miss that. But I realized that later that was the crew, the true rhythm section of the 60s, 70s. And I don't think there's anyone in the crew that, if I run into them, there's not a warm feeling. That's with all of us. And we went through divorces together, and buying houses together, individually, but sharing our little knowledge. And I'm lucky that it's been a part of my life.
It might be partly just because of the tenure of everybody, but there just seems to be a lack of ego.
Oh,
And was that true then?
Lou Adler said the same thing.
yeah.
Everybody's getting paid, but everybody who could blow minds at Dante's or any of the jazz clubs, they kind of took their ego down to support the music.
Left it at the door, really. And I've been around 75 years now, and I've done a lot of things. Nothing have I ever done that was important in my life other than teaching as a wrecking crew. And I didn't even know it then, but now I know. And close to that time, I also, maybe in the mid-70s, I realized what I had been a part of.
Because you were always a student. You know, the wrecking crew, that was class.
Oh man, that was
That gave you the chops to be a teacher.
that was a big time, and a big time in that a collaboration of thoughts, and something that I was not prepared for when I came here to Los Angeles, you know. And I've never had as much fun in my life. You know. We did dirty tricks on each other that were,
Like,
well, Tommy Tedesco would show up at a session, say at, I can't remember
Gold
this.
Star, United Western.
No, there was always room there. There were times when Tommy would park in the parking lot, so Frank Capp, who was always late, couldn't get in, you know. And Don has a story that if he tells it, I will kill him.
now just sit down and we can. You
Oh,
guys can
yeah,
sit together. Let's do that.
And maybe I can kill him faster.
It doesn't frame right. It doesn't frame right. Just finish with Jimmy and then you.
Yeah, you gotta do ones right now.
See, I told you to lose weight. I told you.
You could stay and you could legitimize what he's saying.
So, you know, guys helped each other. That you don't see a lot of that. Tommy Tedesco helped guitarists like you wouldn't believe. He'd give them work. He'd give them hints and tips about things, and that helped a lot too. And then Leah Russell became a part, along with Don, and I don't know, a few notes here, a few notes there, and then we have cohesion.
There's a sense of
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
Can you talk
yeah.
a little about Jack Nietzsche and Barney Kessel?
Uh,
They're not here.
No. Well, I worked with Barney Kessel a lot, jazz though, and he was on some of the sessions for a while. Don has a better memory than I have, but I didn't think a lot. Barney was funny. He's great guitarist. Always something to see. I have to ask Don, do you buy it? Would you think that Barney ever felt at home in the backing group?
I think he did it, and it was like just a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a jazzer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, much more a jazzer.
Yeah.
I would think that. Whereas Tommy, he played.
Tommy played anything. Yeah. And any concerto on the same guitar, you know. Let's say, take your ukulele out. Got it.
That story's getting a lot of.
This is the guys on Jan and Dean records. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great, man.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, I didn't say what I wanted to say about. Yes, about Barney and then
Jack Nietzsche was
Jack Nietzsche. Well, I think Jack was in his head, you know, and there were people like Don and Blaine, who was co-arranger, co-everything on sessions. Hal, did I say Don? Hal. He always had something to say. That helped.
He had a big mouth.
Yeah. Oh yes, I was going to get to that.
Let's
You know,
cut to the quick.
this is my time. We're going to work up to it, and you know, you still got to love him. We have some other talkers too, but we managed to get rid of them. I could just tell you, it was marvelous. It's still marvelous, and I go to my grave thinking it was the best thing that I've done. So,
Thank you.
okay.